We tried to look at a typical house that we own on one of our larger estates and look at ways that we could really enhance the energy efficiency of that property. So we took a typical 1950s house and carried out various environmental initiatives on it.
We've got solar thermal panels on the roof, so that heats the hot water. Obviously not entirely. We also have a condensing boiler, which is really efficient, and that controls the heating and the hot water. We don't have to have that on too much during the warmer months for sure. Just a little bit for the sort of topping up of the hot water in the winter, and a little bit of heating really. The windows were changed. They're all now triple glazed, and the external of the house has been clad with some, it's like thermal insulation. That really sort of seals the house, and the front and back doors are really airtight. The loft is sealed, so we don't have access, but that makes the house very airtight. And then we have internally a heat recovery system where we have collectors in these warmer rooms like the kitchen and the bathroom, and then we have outputs in the rooms without any sort of latent heat, so the bedrooms and the lounge. We've got also CO2 meters, and we've got smart sort of energy meters which are linked to a control pad somewhere, and they actually analyse how our house is performing, and they take the data from the solar system and other factors, and they take the CO2 emissions within the house, and they're analysing that data for a period of 2 years.
Our board set a target of reducing our carbon emissions, our average carbon emissions per property, by 10% by 2016, and we're on track to achieve that. We're about halfway there now. We've got more work to do, and we're going forward with that. But yeah, that's working very well.
Domestic energy bills were about halved. We know that it was a fairly mild year, but we practically didn't have the heating on until about October, November time last year. So, and even with it on, the bills haven't gone up massively because it's on such a short time to just maintain the temperature of the house.
We're going to do some analysis of that property over the next 2 years and see what's worked and not been quite as good, and then maybe taking that forward onto our other stock and using some of the things that worked well in that particular pilot scheme.
It doesn't take a lot of getting used to. It just seems to maintain a very nice environment. The air's nice, and it's not humid, apart from a little bit of fan noise perhaps with the heat ventilation system that you notice at times. There's not a lot really that you can say that's negative about living here.
And the resident who's living there has given us very positive initial feedback, but we want to do some more detailed analysis of the property before we can really make a firm decision as what has worked well and what maybe is something that we want to steer away from.
I can't say enough for Soha. I mean, what they've done here for us has enabled us to have a really comfortable and pleasant existence.